boy. I hope you found what you were looking for. Because those ruins are about to be a distant memory. This is a spring from which the dream scourge flows, injecting poison into the veins of the island.
No, a cleansing fire. Poison or cure?
The same poison we burned out of Fior Messiverno.
The only thing you burned was hope, and I am determined to get it back, even if I must take it from you.
Charming. Stand by my side, and we can strike a blow at the Dream Scourge. And at Sapadal. There are 2 plagues in the living lands. Help me destroy one, and the other will follow.
Ashes. Nothing of the Akita will remain.
We may not burn out the Dream Scourge here, but we can burn out its symptoms and take the fight to your patron.
Spirits cry out, bury the fire, but still they rage.
Is her first instinct always to destroy stuff and hope that fixes things?
Always thinking with your sword. You zealots never change. I happen to like these ruins. They've been very informative. Without them, I'd never have learned there was a new god in the living lands.
Another reason why they should be destroyed. Sapadal is dangerous, but an archmage is more unpredictable by far.
I do love it when people choose to listen to reason. I have an alternate solution to the problem at hand.
This should be amusing.
I am not talking to you, am I? Don't interrupt me. Don't make me separate your skin from your muscle. I can sever the connection between the Adra in the ruins and the rest of the living lands. It will isolate the dream-scourged essence and halt the creation of new dream thralls in Shatterscarp. But those that exist will remain. My solution will end the plague in this region, I believe, and keep Ludwig from having to do terrible things to those nice ruins. I knew I liked you for a reason. Yes, there is a catch. It's also what you may call a large one. Severing the Adra will require the use of a truly immense amount of essence, which, well, will result in a few deaths.
A few deaths? What about Quilici? And the other Furians? And Quilici?
Gods, you're right.
Gentle sleep. One moment day, the next a poppy's dream to carry them to the Garden of Night. They would feel no pain.
I'm so very glad you recall.
Well, in layman's terms, she's going to rip the essence out of a bunch of people in Shatterscarp. For what it's worth, her theory is sound. She could stop the Dream Scourge. In Shatterscarp, at least.
A few dozen people may die. Possibly 100 or so in the more dire scenarios. There is no control over who will perish in the process. But it will stop the Dream Scourge from spreading in Shatterscarp. No new Dream Thralls will be created.
Grim is one of the smartest people alive. If she says this is the way, it's hard to argue. No matter how much we might want to.
It's not an ideal solution. But it is easier to save a life when you've amputated the necrotic limb, so to speak.
At least I'm not the only rational voice in this debate. She would sacrifice the very people we're trying to save, and for what? Not even to destroy the Dream Scourge. Merely to slow it down.
Destroying the ruins and killing the dream thralls within is also a short-term measure. Ludwig's solution will eventually result in the same number of casualties, possibly even more. If only the Inquisitor was as astute as you. Regardless, you're correct. So long as the Dream Scourge exists, more people will become infected. And the infected will take more lives, and this will continue indefinitely.
She has no idea what the consequences of her actions might be. And neither do you. Envoy, I want to show you something. I swore an oath to my goddess. A solemn vow that I would give everything in service to her. Even myself. And I did so, gladly. Sapadal wants the same devotion from you. The only difference is, you never had a choice. Huh. Look at the consequences of their stewardship. Plague, calamity, death. The Living Lands deserves better. Envoy, we have an obligation to scour Sapadal from the Living Lands before they destroy us. Starting with these ruins. Whatever you do, make sure the decision is yours, not theirs. Sapadal will poison your judgment if you let them. You owe Sapadal nothing, and yet they demand everything. That is not devotion. It's cruel.
What an amateur. She accuses Sapadal of what she intends to inflict on you. Don't fall for it.
Yes, quite difficult to decide whether to believe your new god or the angry skeleton actively threatening us.
Godlike. I leave the choice to you. Both options will bring harm. The question is, which will bring more good? Perhaps not. But one of these solutions will bring an end to the matter in Shatterscarp. Remember the village and the statue it couldn't repair. Remember the lesson I tried to teach you. None of our lives matters. Not when they might cost us the future. Now choose, Envoy. Destroy the ruins and the Dream Thralls, but allow the plague to keep spreading. Or sever the Adra and end the plague in Shatterscarp, with an unknowable number of casualties.
She toys with you with innocent lives, while I offer only the truth.
Good people die either way, but severing the Adra shortens their suffering, I hope.
Breaking the Adra is a bold choice. It's such a terrible cost. If only we had time to do it with some finesse. But Quilici... gods. If there's even a chance he could... No, I can't think of that right now. Then again, it's not as if I trust Ludwig. The dead have no right to choose for the living. I'm at a loss. Whatever you do, make sure you believe in it. Because there's no going back.
Call it an experiment. To see if a mortal can think of futures beyond one's lifetime. And be less sentimental than the village about its statue. Also, I rather loathe the Inquisitor. She's far too used to getting her own way.
Petty, illogical, and self-absorbed. You hold a blade to the throat of my soldiers, but that's no excuse for wasting my time. Envoy, I hate to be in this position, but at least the choice is in Adiran hands. So choose.
What a relief. You really scared me there, Envoy.
I don't like our options, but maybe we can learn something from this one. Let's just hope Quilichi is all right.
So be it. Sapadal's hold over you is stronger than I suspected.
Prune, strengthen the living leaves. We twine.
Attune your soul to Sapadal to assist my focus on the Adra. You're the only one who can do that part. And Yatsley, come, help me. I think you'll enjoy this. Marinsos clapan ed marslante. I am delighted to have been right about you. I was hoping you'd have the cold logic I wanted to see. We've dealt with the Dream Scourge, but you'll still have some cleaning up to do. Now that I know this was all because of a new god flailing in their cage, the Living Lands is no longer of interest to me. Another god. There are so many. If a new one is more aberrant than another, does it really matter? But that is for you to wrestle with. I'm done here. However, I have one final question for your young wizard.
For... me?
You have shown a great deal of talent, Yatsley. Few can harness so much essence with ease. I could use your assistance. And the companionship. It's really dreary being alone. Should you wish to return with me, I would happily take you on as my apprentice. The rest of the circle do not often visit, which is good because they're tiresome. You, however, are a power worth shaping, and rather delightful to boot.
Well, obviously, I'm... Wait. Really? You want me to... Wow. That would be... amazing! But, I have to think about it. At the very least, the envoy would be lost without me. And so would my lover. Though the idea of finally devoting more time to magic is... tempting.
They clearly need someone with a brain with them. Besides, I have centuries. Whatever you decide, it will be some months before I depart. You know where to find me. Be clever, godlike. Don't think too much with your heart.
Why are we
I think my study needs more ice sculptures.
No progress without sacrifice. Why are we deferring to that maniac Green? Ugh.
Don't trust this heathen magic.
What is done is done. Do not waste your breath justifying it to me. Countless innocent lives cut short, even my own soldiers. And for what? Make no mistake, there will be a reckoning for the chaos you unleashed here. At least now I have a better idea of who is pulling your strings. Will anyone live to see it? Or will you enjoy it alone from atop a mountain of corpses? Envoy, need I remind you why the Emperor sent you? To burn out a threat at any cost. To impose order where chaos reigns. If you and Heelguard are too spineless to remember your allegiance, I'll have to finish the job myself. All I wanted to do was protect Shatterscarp. Give it the chance that Fior Messiverno did not have. Instead, I'm left with one dead settlement and another dying one. So you destroyed its people by the dozens. May the dead forgive you. A word of warning, Envoy. You and I are running out of opportunities to save the living lands from itself. I allowed you to dictate the terms of this meeting. I won't make that mistake twice. Your gratitude is wasted on me. All I want is your reason. Until next time, Envoy.
What a vile, intolerant creature.
Leave. We're done here.
Needs fabric. Still have stuff.
36 dead, of no apparent causes. They just fell over. Like their hearts were stopped in their chest. What did you do, Envoy? I know you're involved somehow. Bullshit. There was always another option. Something better than this massacre. Dozens are dead, Envoy. Their loved ones scream for them. What was all this for? The costs were too great, Envoy. And you paid them with third-born blood. I hope your fucking decisions haunt you forever. You've cost so many families their loved ones. You have my permission to go anywhere else. Get out of my sight, Envoy. They didn't deserve to die like this.
Gods, it's good to see a living face. Is there anything you want to buy, or...
It's you! You're the monster who got us kicked out of third board!
Couldn't have happened to a nicer fellow, apparently.
What do you have against honest businessmen? You can't fast-talk me, you fiend! I demand compensation!
I know you're upset, Tycho, but they seem like they're really strong.
Shizu, please don't undermine me in front of them. You have to make things right by me. By us, I mean. Don't try to play games with us. We can take you.
But can you take all three of us? Are you so desperate for the answer that you'll stake your life on it?
Daiko, this might be a bad idea. I mean, I'm good with the blade on dead targets, but...
You too? Fine. That kind of takes the wind out of my sails.
Thank you. I'm glad today didn't end in bloodshed.
Maybe the next time we all meet, we can just have a lovely drink, or I can dissect you. Either one.
Don't promise me a good time, dearie.
Well, go on, get out of here, before I change my mind. And if we ever do meet again, well, you can forget about that discount.
Safe travels to you.
We need to talk. You let a mad archmage unleash death with a spell. I need to know why.
Exactly. Everything in those ruins is irreplaceable and must be protected. And if we ruin Ludwig's day, so much the better.
Inquisitor Ludwig made her intentions clear. To destroy any evidence of Sapadal and subdue the living lands. We can't afford to give her a single victory, Kai. Even if it hurts.
Ludwig's a monster. But how can you say Ringram's any less of one?
Reengrim knows more about the Dream Scourge than we do, and we know more than most others do. She found a great solution, but it came with a great cost. What more could we expect?
Do you hear yourself? You both saw what kind of person she is. The twisted little world she built for herself. If ending the Dream Scourge means handing our fate to someone like her, then perhaps it's not worth the cost.
Kai, let's be honest. None of us are walking away from this with a clean conscience. But unless someone makes the tough decisions, the Dream Scourge will kill us all. Or worse. That means living with our nightmares. Embracing them if we must.
Right. Getting killed by monsters is one thing, but turning into one...
We stand here bickering while the solution is just over the horizon. Nothing matters but the garden. Shatterscarp, even Emerald Stair. They're distractions by comparison.
If we run into Ludwig out there, it's gonna be ugly.
Frankly, I'll take any opportunity we get to ruin Ludwig's day.
I'll say this much for the Inquisitor. She's stubborn, like a rat. And I plan on hunting her like a rat.
I'd say we shouldn't stay on her bad side, but I'm not sure she has any other sides.
You know her better than any of us. What's your read? Yet she's got nothing but contempt for men like Hilgard, agents of Adir who are bound, at least in part, by its laws. There's nothing more dangerous than a loyal fanatic who answers to no one.
Well, the joke's on her in any case. Ludwig won't get very far without that map. She'll be scratching her skull.
Somehow, I don't think she'll let that stop her for long.
And Ludwig definitely strikes me as someone who doesn't leave food on her plate. Right, and the Steel Garrote is famously level-headed. Just look at Fior.
Ludwig and her Steel Garrote have the numbers and the power, but we have spunk and a map. And that might just be enough to find the garden before she does.
We're all competing for the same thing. A place we barely understand, with no guarantees of what we'll find there. Still, I am determined to reach the garden, above all else.
That's just a pile of Sokka. Oh, now you're listening to me, all of a sack of sup sudden. You won't find a blessed a thing. This wild beetle chase of yours is a page raku waste of time. To get to the garden, you have to go through Galawin's tusks. The land is made of lava and acid. It wants to eat you alive.
So it's tough odds. We've gotten this far together.
Tough odds is an extra Zarb jumping in at the last minute. This is a long trek, on foot, through a land that can barely support life. I don't have to be a Blessed Day Oracle to know this won't go how you think it will. And all your clues come from one source. You've been following a voice in your head. What do you know about Sapadal? How do you know you can trust them?
I hate to be the voice of reason, but we are talking about a god. There are limits to what we can even comprehend.
I have a powerful connection to my Blessed Day flute, but I'm not about to take orders from it.
What's on your mind, Marius? What bothers you so?
Because I can scream until I'm blue in the face, and you people would still rather trust the Envoy's pet headache demon. And now you want to drag us through the deadliest region in the world because a sleeping god said so. You're not listening to what I am telling you. I'm done here. Do whatever Blessed Day planning you want to do. You don't need me for that.
Let's just take a breath, Marius. You don't mean that.
Nope. I said what I said. Come get me when it's time to go.
Poor Marius. Something's really rattled him.
I've never seen Marius like this. Something's going on with him, but I don't know what.
Be gentle with him. Or if not gentle, understanding.
Well, hopefully Marius will be okay soon. We have to get going if we want to get to the garden before Ludwig.
We won't get far unless we look after each other. Now's your chance.
Envoy, we need to discuss what you did in the ruins. I just hope we made the right decision. Those ruins are priceless, and I truly look forward to exploring them again in the future, but I don't know that I'll ever truly accept what we did. What I did. Usually I know the right answer. It's obvious. Here, though... I know. We've seen enough pain caused by the Dream Scourge. Things have been... unreal. We spoke to actual ancient Akedans in the ruins. I was able to ask questions and get answers. Of course. Though I sense that you're not fully aware of just how amazing this all is, so... I'll let you wait back at the camp, like a good little boy. But to go through the trials ourselves? Oh, could we be any luckier? Fascinating. I can't imagine what it was like to grow up a godlike with no god. I'm glad you got answers, sweetheart. Well... I have to start writing this all down before I forget. But do return if you think of any other juicy details. Careful what you wish for, darling. So, the Godless, or the Akeda, as they called themselves, were the original folks who lived in the living lands. They arrived on the shores of a new land and settled there, living with the land instead of trying to tame it. You sound certain. Is this something Sapadal told you? Well, they would have been there, wouldn't they? That means I was right. Well, was there ever any doubt? The Godless are so... singular. Their art and architecture, you never see it in Rawatai or Ishamatal or... well, Adir. But in their artwork, they reference escaping, fleeing, seeking refuge, so they must have come from somewhere. My guess... they originally came from Yesua. Yesua, a continent, cut off from the rest of the world, hidden by eternal storms, one of the 3 hubs of the Angwithan Empire. 10 years ago, you could say it wasn't real, that it was a dream, but they said the same of Ukaiso. Suddenly, the appearance of a mythical land doesn't seem so implausible. There was some kind of schism, an ideological one. From what I can glean, the Godless were staunchly against the gods, hence their name. There are even some not-so-kind murals of the gods. It seems like the Godless really took their anti-theism seriously. You're right. But no one knew that until your trip to Nakukubel, hence the name Godless. Now that we know that Sapadal exists, it changes everything we thought we knew about the Akeda. I knew following you was a good idea. It might have shaken my research to its core, but that's what makes it fun. Well, I think we've covered everything, don't you? Rather, as much as I think you'll withstand. Hope you enjoyed talking about this as much as I did, dearie. How can I help, darling? Tired already, Envoy?
Can we talk a moment? I wanted to pick your brain about Shatterscarp. How much do you really know about Adra? Not bad. Adra is a physical manifestation of a metaphysical phenomenon. A mineral that takes our souls from death to rebirth. We severed the Adra in Nakukubel to slow down the Dream Scourge. But at what cost? That would be putting it lightly. The souls of the dead who go looking for a passage to the beyond will have nowhere to go. They'll be lost in darkness. Some will find their way to an Adra pillar, far from Shatterscarp. But others could wander this land for centuries. Possibly. Probably. Eventually. Try as we might to help others, we won't always succeed. Even the dead can suffer the consequences of our actions. I just wish the world and its problems would leave us alone. Even for a moment. Give us time to focus on our mission. Ourselves. As do I. We both deserve a little peace. And if the world will not give it to us, then we'll just find it in each other. While I have your ear, can I ask you one more question? Much appreciated. Something about Inquisitor Ludwig has been getting to me. She seemed eager to distinguish your Adiran loyalty from your nature as a godlike, as though the two are incompatible. She believes you can be loyal to your country or to your nature, but not both. Do you find that unusual? Indeed, it does. It's just... when you rejected Ludwig's offer, she wasn't surprised. As though she saw it coming. Ludwig clearly respects you. I don't believe she trusts you. Anyway, that just had me thinking. Could be nothing. Or could be something. Time will tell. Get some rest. You deserve a nap. For that matter, so do I. Go on then. Don't be shy. The better question is, can I still be an animancer? Could I even make a difference? By burning Fior Messiverno, the Steel Garrote declared that animancy is not welcome in the living lands. And then there's the Dream Scourge, unraveling civilization as we know it. I don't know where that leaves me. The work my parents started may have no end in sight. We don't even know if the living lands can be tamed politically, much less spiritually. She thought a lot of things. Not all of them were true. All I know for certain is that I've been going about this the wrong way. I should be an animancer for the right reason. With the Dream Scourge, I haven't got one. At least someone thinks so. Thank you for believing in me. Whether or not I believe in myself. You know me, always ready with an answer. I've heard the Wardens are very set in their ways, for better or worse. Usually the worse. Vidaro tried to form a trade agreement with the Council. Copper and glass in exchange for grain. But it went nowhere. They weren't interested in outside help. The Wardens value self-reliance. Maybe because they have an inflated sense of their own importance. No offense, Marius.
No, you pretty much got it right.
They have a righteous duty to protect these lands, and believe that it can and should be done without the help of outsiders. It's a bit like shooting yourself in the foot because you don't trust anyone else to wield the gun. Not before I've done some reading.
This place may not have much going for it, but that view across the acid sea is really something at night. Never. The Pargrunen of Solace are notoriously suspicious of outsiders. Though, from the looks of this place, Solace's real concern has got to be keeping its people in, not keeping the rest of us out. Shoot. Yeah, it happens. Sharing the road and sharing each other's battles. But out of all the people I've fought alongside, I haven't gotten to know many of them as well as you. You always know what to do. It's like you've got an internal compass guiding you. Not many people have such a clear sense of direction, especially in situations as complicated as these. I never thought I'd feel this at ease again with anyone else, much less myself. But you helped me face loss, regret. After drifting for a long time, I finally feel like I belong again. Thanks. It's a new feeling, but I'm getting used to it. So whatever you need, whatever it takes to finish this journey, I'm with you. To the end. I'll tell you what I can. I'll be here if you need me.
I know what you're gonna say. Marius, you need to slow down. Think about your feelings. Well, I don't want to think about my feelings. So just let me be alone for a bit. It is. And it isn't. I'm not sure what it is, really. Just the thought of going back to Galawin's tusks makes my heart feel like it's going to explode. I sweat, my ears ring, I can't breathe. When it seems like we're really heading there, I feel like I'm dying. Right. Thanks. I understand not wanting to go back, but why can't I just thinking about it makes me feel ill. I need some time alone, Envoy. I need to get some rest. I'll be ready to go when the time comes. Envoy, what do you need? Not before I've done some reading.
Well done.
Radut, be reasonable. We can't live out here like this.
Listen, we're besieged by Mali and her outsiders. The Ray still begs me to search for the missing Adir and merchant convoy. But we're stretched too thin even for that. I only ask you to hold on a bit longer until our replacement comes.
I will try. But this can't last. Hey.
Another Adiran. Damned if I ever saw the like. So you're the envoy they reported at the gate. Pete's turning away the refugees from Shatterscarp, at least. Is it true that many drop dead suddenly? Gods. Well, at least we're safe here. And better off, I think, for having you here. The sentries were right about you. You have the same features as Arnandru. Taller, of course, but nevertheless. I'm going to treat this as a good omen. Nandru himself knows we need one out here.
Founder of Solace Keep. We have a statue of him there. You both share similar features around the face, huh?
Anyway, the Tusks never offered us much, and that was before the Beetles rose in their numbers. Never mind the Zoribs, or the Dream Scourge, or fucking Amalia. I don't know what there is to do. The Beetles and Zoribs come back faster than we can cut them down, and Amalia... Gods, where do I even start? She and I used to command this tower in turn. I and my wardens kept watch while she and hers rested in the keep. And so too the reverse. Until her last watch, that is. When she and her wardens abandoned their post and marched on the gate and tried to leave. Because life in the tower is torture. We're low on supplies. The Vastes are winning against us. They had made a request to the keep for aid. After it was denied, her wardens spoke of mutiny. And after that, well, fighting broke out at the gate. My wardens and I rushed from our leave when we heard the alarms. Drove Amalia back. Now she set up camps in the Vastes. Main one is just up north in the Twined Wood. Another's just west of there, in a tower. Another east, in a cave. She's broken her oath, and I'm trying to find a way to uphold mine. I've never cared for how we use duty to excuse the worst of what we do. Nevertheless, we have our duty to watch over the garden, so we're bound to the tasks. Our oaths are mortal matters. Should we die with an oath unfulfilled, our spirits will linger until another of our wardens sees it completed. And if one of our own breaks an oath, it is a death sentence. All I want is peace with her. But our talks, such as they were, have totally broken down. Whenever I approach, she just tells me to stay away from the land beneath her banners. And after her raid, after our skirmishes, I don't see how we can talk anymore. But would you be willing to talk to her? I have no demands except that she stops attacking us for treading near her camps. But she says she won't stop until they can all leave. And I can't grant her passage out of the tasks. She has no duty out there, nor can I grant her one. I don't know how to break the stalemate. But I'll quit talking your ear off. Thank you for indulging me. If you see Amalia or any of her camps, I hope you can get through to them.
Hey, I might have something for you, envoy.
I wonder when we'll get back to the keep. Why? Kostyu's really starting to raise his stink. Certainly.
Everyone's saying the envoy has Nandro's features.
Abandoned.
Oh, I've never seen anything like it.
Slumbering fields lies to the west. The last green place in the tusks.
Thought I'd miss Emerald Stair.